Hello, another bird here, and in this video I'm going to be opening a couple of forever locks, and then after I open these up I'm going to show you one that I took apart and cut into pieces so you can see what's going on the inside. First I'll show you how it works. This is their motorcycle brake lock version. So the way it works is you take the key, you insert it into the carriage, rotate that, press down, turn the knob, and you can unlock the lock. If we take the wrong key, take this one for the red lock, slide it in. We can push down, but you can see we can't turn the knob. Can't turn the knob, can't unlock the lock. That's the general operation of it. The idea is if you can't access the keyway, you can't pick the lock. We're going to be opening it using this right here, which is a keyway where we have cut away all the grooving, and we're just going to be using it to tension the lock. So I can drop this down in, rotate it, and this is not my method, by the way. This is from Mitch Priyer. This is a method he came up with. So once we have that in there, then we're just going to tap it with the hammer. There we go. And you can see we rotate it, and we've got it open. Nice and easy. Just to show you that's not a fluke. Let's do it one more time with the blue, and then we'll do it once with the red. Okay. Oh, there we go. Another time with the blue. Now do the same thing with the red lock. Okay, you can see it's locked. We'll start the tapping. There we go. There's an open. Do that one more time. Show it wasn't a fluke. Sorry. I know that jostles the camera around a whole bunch there. There you go. You can see we got another open there. So 4 opens pretty quick. It is a reliable method for opening this. This is the Forever Lock version 2. Both of these are the version 2. And now I'll talk a little bit more about what's going on inside of them. So, what have we got here? Right here, this is from a chain lock version that I took apart. Here we have the knob that rotates the key. We have got the face of the carriage here that the key slides into right there. It rotates down into. This also restricts a lot of the access, so you can't get tools around the keyway. It obscures a lot of that, so you can't get in there. And then you've got this inside of there. I'm doing this sort of number. So you can see how you have very, very little access to the keyway through the actual carriage. This lock gets a very bad reputation, but it gets a bad reputation for its cylinders on the inside. The actual carriage itself for restricting access to the keyway is actually pretty cool. Like you can see, this leaves very little room for you to maneuver any kind of pick or anything into the keyway. Here we have the cylinder itself. There's been multiple versions of this. The original one was a dimple lock that Deviant Olam was able to open by impressioning. I think he also found that the tolerances were pretty bad and that certain keys would work on multiple locks. So if you had one key for One key from one lock might actually work on another lock. The tolerances were so bad on those dimple locks. That and the impressioning, so he was able to open it pretty quickly. To prevent the impressioning, what they did is they made a version 2 where they switched to wafers, and on the website it says there's no springs, which is not entirely true. There's no springs on the individual wafers themselves. However, if you looked at the cylinder, you may notice, hey, what about this? This looks kind of like a pen tumbler. So the very rear pen that you can see right there, that last dimple there and that last hole, that's just sort of to give you that nice clicky rotate feel as you turn the cylinder. The other two have pins that actually push down on some of these wafers, but not all of them. So some of the wafers are pushed down by those pins, and some of them are free floating and can bounce back up and down. I tried a few variations on how to pick this, but I'll come back to that in a second. Let's keep going down the line. So behind the plug, we have an actuator, and this actuator is going to be different. They make different models. They make a chain lock version, they make a padlock version, they make a bike lock version, and they make a deadbolt version. As far as I know, you cannot tension. You need to tension through the keyway for all of them except the chain lock version. The chain lock version that this one came off of actually has a hole in the sort of mounting hardware in the back where you could slip a screwdriver or something like that and put tension on this and wrap the cylinder with a hammer. So as far as I know, the chain lock version is the only one where you might not need any special tooling. You might be able to just do it with a screwdriver and hammer and open it. But all their other models, you're not able to tension. Like this one, you can put force on this, but it's on this back piece right here. You can push upward with like your turning tool or something, but it's not going to put direct rotational torque onto the cylinder. So as far as I know, that issue is only an issue for the chain lock implementation as far as how it connects to that back cam. As far as me picking it, I tried to do a few things to see if it could still be impressioned. I tried just filing out some of the keyway to see if the tolerances were loose enough that I could use other keys. That didn't work. I tried making these to act like little rakes, and trying to rake the lock by sort of doing a scrubbing motion with these, and that didn't work for me either. I think that it is much more likely to work on the chain lock version, where you can rear tension and then you could have a tool go back and forth. I suspect that these don't tension as well because this cylinder is really not meant to let you turn until you've pushed it in forward enough that it engages with the key. It's not entirely true. There is a little bit of play, about this much, but I'm not sure that when I'm rotating it way back here that I'm really putting good tension on the plug, as far as trying to use these like rakes. Yeah. I think that's probably most of what you would want to know about the lock. There's no false gates or anything like that on the wafers. And that's really the issue with the lock. The carriage system's actually really cool. I kind of feel bad, because it gets a bad reputation. The carriage system's actually very, very impressive in my mind. It's a really great way of preventing access to the keyway. I think they do a good job with that. They just, were, I think, overconfident in that carriage and then put in this really weak cylinder. It also looks like this is some kind of pot metal cylinder. Let's see here. I've got a magnet around here somewhere, I think. I let my magnet run away. It looks like I misplaced my magnet right now, but yeah, sorry. But yeah, this seems like it's some sort of pot metal, not like a nice stainless steel. Let's see if I can see any of the damage here. You can see, if you look closely on this, some damage right there on the top there, just from me cranking it. And that's just from the brass getting stuck wedged between these two cylinders. That's me just trying to crank hard on it and see if it snaps or anything like that. So that says to me maybe there is a way to just apply enough torque that you actually uh, force this open. This part right here, this knob that holds the key, is actually really well mounted. So these two hold together really, really well. And I think other things will snap first. So I think that's a potential risk with this, as far as there's probably, at least there's potential for other ways to force it open there. What else can I tell you about it? These wafers, yeah, there's no security pins. They do have different versions. So depending on which model you get, whether it's the deadbolt or for the brake locks or something, the key may be on the left or right side. You can see the keyways. All the wafers are going to be on one side, but which side that is may vary depending on which model you get. Yeah, you can see those are actually very similar there, aren't they? Very similar. But yeah, depending on which model you get, they may be on either side. And with the brake lock, they even sent just these, which I thought was a little strange. Why they would send just this without the key to hold it. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that also says something about, because you notice here that on this packaging we don't see information on like the pinning or anything like that. I also got one for the red one. It does make me wonder how many different key combinations they really have for these. But I don't know. That's my summary for it. I did try a 3D printed key too. Sorry, I forgot about that. I did try a 3D printed key for trying to impression it. That did not work well for me. I tried using wood to impression it. That was a terrible idea. That's a good way to brick your lock. That's what led to me taking the whole thing apart. So I highly don't recommend wood. But this just cutting out the center right there and wrapping seems to work pretty well. And what's neat about this is it's going to work. If you do this for one key, it doesn't matter which version you have. You know, either one of these, this key is going to work for as far as the attack method. So I don't know. Very cool lock design. Wish that they had chosen something a little more, high security for the cylinder. Something like, an Abloy Pro Tech would have been really cool. Something like that, to really, I guess, fight back there would have been neat to see. I'm not sure. I mean, there's certainly other lock designs they could have gone with that would have put up a little more fight. But that's all I've got with it. I thought that was pretty neat. I do like the lock. Maybe one day they'll update the plug, or somebody else will use use this kind of carriage idea for another lock. I don't know. Time will tell. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. Just let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try to put a link. I will put a link to Pryor's video where he discusses it as well. Thank you all for watching.